Welcome, I'm Matt. I'm a commercial cleaning CEO. I built my own commercial cleaning business from scratch in less than 5 years to over 7 figures, and I did it on less than 10 hours a week. And in this video, what I'm gonna show you is how to decide on picking your ideal customer profile so that you can grow your commercial cleaning business even faster. You're gonna get the 9 factors that I look at when setting up an ideal customer profile. Number 1 is revenue type. You have 3 different types of revenue when it comes to the commercial cleaning industry, and they are recurring, reoccurring, and then project work or one-time things. So what are the differences between all these? Recurring revenue is where you have an agreement or a contract with a facility in place, and you provide recurring commercial cleaning services on a daily basis or a weekly basis, whatever frequency that's expected. It's scheduled. It's every Monday at approximately this time, we're gonna come in and clean your facility. Or it's 5 days a week, and we do that every single week, and that's a part of the agreement. As opposed to reoccurring, which is where you might have a facility that says, we have events that happen, and we wanna use you to come clean our facility anytime we need our space cleaned. And we expect these events to happen 1 to 2 to 3 times per week, so we're gonna let you know when they are, and you can schedule them on your calendar. That would be reoccurring as opposed to recurring revenue. Then you have the one time, which is construction cleanings, for example. They might just call you once, use your service, you do a great job, you get paid a lot of money. That's great. You could have a mix of those a little bit between the one time and the reoccurring. A one-time customer could become a reoccurring customer. So when building your ideal customer profile, that is where you want to start, is what kind of revenue do you want to target? You can build a great business with all 3 or just targeting one of those. But you want to be sure you focus on one of those to help figure out who your ideal customer is. The second factor is longevity. What is longevity? It can be the resilience that an industry has towards recession. We can look back at 2020 and we can see all the facility types that shut down or struggled because of what happened. You can also consider any other time a recession happened or something occurred in the economic market that shut facilities down or made them boom. You want to pick an ideal customer that's going to survive through those things. Now, obviously, you don't have to pick that. If you see a very lucrative opportunity, you could lean into one that is affected by different things like that, but it is a factor to consider, is the longevity and the resilience of that. The other longevity factor is how do they make their decisions for deciding on cleaning services, continuing forward? Do they have to rebid the contract every single year? Is it every 5 years? Do they make their decision based on price alone whenever they're going to rebid? How is that going to affect how long you can have the contract? Because the longer that you can keep a customer, the more valuable they are, and the less sales processes you have to walk through in order to win longer lasting customers or have that lifetime value, as it's called. Number 3 is organizational attitude. When you're talking with them or when you're targeting which types of facilities to go after, do you want to go for facilities that have an attitude about solving a cleaning problem? Or do you want to target facilities that are looking at solving a budget problem? Those are the 2 categories that I usually put facilities in when it comes to when they're calling us or reaching out, or we're reaching out to them in our marketing. If we're targeting people that want to solve cleaning problems, what we say in our marketing is going to be very different than what we would say if we're trying to solve a budget problem. Budget problem will be, we're going to be the lowest priced, we're going to save you all this money, we're going to find a way to do it, all those different things, as opposed to solving a cleaning problem. We can talk about how we provide a higher level of service, the different supports we have in place, and quality control, and things like that. And it's going to attract a certain type of customer, and it's going to repel other types of customers. So be aware of that. You can obviously win if you go with the pricing game. Personally, I don't like to go that route. I like to go the route of people that want to solve cleaning problems. But there are companies and there are individuals out there that play the pricing game. So when thinking about your ideal customer profile for your commercial cleaning business, think about who do we want to attract? Which attitude do we want to permeate and draw into our business? Number 4 is the breadth of scope. Do you want to just provide cleaning services? Do you want to just provide those in the evening? Or are you open to also providing more options? Do you want to provide day porter services for first shift or even third shift services? Do you want to provide maintenance services or pressure washing? What are all the things that are going to be looped into this? Do you want to provide project work? Do you also want to provide any specialty services like terminal cleaning or clean room or sterilization? If you have experience and specialty in the terminal cleaning space, that would lean you towards some medical targeting for your ideal customer profile. Or if you want to include day porter services, which is where someone visits the site during the day, even if you come in during the evenings, then maybe you need to target the industrial route or consider that for your ideal customer profile. So think of the breadth of the scope that you want to offer, whether you're growing your business now, you're going from 6 to 7 to 8 figures, or if you're just starting out, think about the scope and what you want to narrow yourself down to be just right for your ideal customer. And the fifth factor is, in addition to the scope breadth, is a specific targeting of the time of day that we want services to occur. If you have a day job and you're starting your commercial cleaning company from scratch, then obviously you want to have your cleanings done in the evening or at night. You don't want to mess with what's going on during the daytime, at least at the very start. Now, for growing companies like ours, we would add on shifts. We would make ourselves available, and we actually targeted facilities that wanted more of these shifts available instead of just one. It's up to you on how you want to run your business, but whenever a customer calls or whenever you're choosing whether or not you want to reach out to this facility because it's an ideal one or not, you want to know, how do they have their scheduling set up for the cleaning services? Is it just evening? Is it first shift? Is it second? Is it third? What do you want as far as your ideal customer and the time that they want it cleaned? Number 6 is having a minimum revenue in mind. For us, for the longest time, it was $389 a month. Didn't matter what they wanted done, if it was once a week, once a quarter, once a month, it was $389. And we started at that level. We'd increase, obviously, to cover our costs if we needed to and to add our profit on there. But what is your minimum level when thinking about what your ideal customer profile is going to be? You don't want to target people that are going to be below your minimum level. You want to have people that are higher than your minimum level. For us, we have since increased our minimum level and what we accept. Some ways to gauge that is you can also consider the actual size of the facility. There's ways you can look that up that we'll talk about at the end of this video. You can also gauge by the traffic. You can look at the parking spaces around a facility when doing a quote or whenever they call in. You can ask about how many patients do they see or how many visitors do they have on a weekly or daily basis, whatever it is. That way you can have a good idea of what their revenue size, as far as their budget goes to pay you revenue-wise, will probably be. That can be a way that you can gauge it and decide if you want to target them or not, or do business with them. Number 7 is minimum frequency. How often do you want to be able to provide cleaning services? Do these ideal customers of yours, do they want it only one day a week? Or do they have 5 days a week of a need for you to be in their facility or your team be in there doing the cleanings? That's up for you to decide, once again, on which types of facilities you want to type, and that's a good way to decide it. Is I want to go after ones that are at least 3 days a week that fall into all these other categories, which will narrow your search and narrow your targeting to be appealing just to them. That minimum frequency also does weigh heavily onto how much revenue they can produce for you and what their budget is, which was factor number 6. The number 8 is ownership type. Why is this important? This directly affects how fast you can win contracts. It affects the longevity piece, because a larger organization might rebid more often. It affects so many different things, the customer experience along the way and how communication flows, what your team can expect when in the facility. It has a very big impact. So there's 4 ways to look at this. In one category, you have local ownership and non-local ownership. And then in the other category, you have what I'm going to call private ownership, and then the other, corporate ownership. Now, technically, plenty of large organizations are considered private companies because they're not in the stock market, but what I'm talking about is this. Let's say you have a local doctor's office, and there's just one doctor that owns it. That would be a local, private place as a target. Or you can have a local place that has multiple locations and they have a corporate headquarters. That's a large corporate that's local in your area. Then you have non-local. So that would be if there's a company that has a second place where you're at, but they're still smaller. So that could be that doctor that has a few other doctors in their office and they have 1 or 2 other locations. So they might have one in your area. That will be a non-local because the decision maker is not there with you in your territory, but that would be a non-local private organization. Then finally we have the non-local corporate. So this could be an international company, a public company, something that's huge and it has a presence in your area, but also a presence elsewhere. But it makes decisions through a corporate structure. These are the 4 main categories that I like to think about when thinking about an ideal customer profile. You can obviously consider government. That's a little bit different. And there's a few other categories that are out there, but these are the main 4. Which of these 4 are your ideal customers in? Which of these 4 makes decisions the way that you want to be chosen for cleaning services? A local private one probably makes a decision very quickly because they don't need very many opinions. A large non-local corporation might take some time and they might rebid the contract very frequently. Now we get to number 9, which is market size. This can also be called TAM, which stands for total addressable market. Are there enough of my ideal customers in my market or in the markets that I'm going to be building my business in? You don't want to pick something that is way too specific and doesn't leave you enough room to grow. For example, if you picked, I only want to clean pet stores with blue paint inside, that is going to be extremely limiting. It's a very extreme example, but if you pick something, say, like restaurants or property managers or some other type or niche, then that addressable market is big enough for you to get started in. Of course, if you just go all in on any commercial, that market is very large as well. But if you choose to niche down, make sure that you have enough in your market. A good way to know if you have enough facilities in your market is you can go to dataaxleusa.com. I have no affiliation with them. It's just what I use in order to evaluate niches and pick which ones that I wanted to do and see an approximate size of the total addressable market in my area. If you go there, you can use their tools and you can put in your county or your city and your zip codes, and it'll give you a count of the number of contacts and facilities in that area. You can even whittle it down currently at the time of filming this, you can whittle it down by facility size. But it's not 100% accurate, but it's a really quick way of gauging what is the market size, what's the availability for different facility types in my area that I can approach for cleaning services. So what does a final ideal customer profile look like? It looks something like this. You could say, I want to go after recurring revenue that is economically resilient. I want to solve a cleaning problem, so they're not going to be all price picky. We're going to focus on just basic cleaning in the evenings, which takes care of the scope and then the time of day. And then we're going to do a minimum revenue size of $1,000 a month. I'm not going to take any customers less than that. We need to be sure that we're cleaning them at least 3 times a week. We want to target local private companies and local corporate companies. And we're going to evaluate to see the amount of facilities in an industry in our area. So what I did was I targeted medical, and you can pick any of those. And you can go after that type with all those factors in it, and your marketing can appeal to facilities that are large enough, that are looking for the needs. So instead of it saying, we're here to take care of you, whether it's once a month or 7 days a week, you could say, we specialize in 5 days per week of service. That's what we want to provide for you. And then you target facilities that are big enough with the budgets we talked about, with the private locality that we talked about. And that's how you use your ideal customer profile to grow your business faster and to win more business for your commercial cleaning company. That's what I did on how to get commercial cleaning contracts at the very start of my company, which grew us dramatically fast. We used an ideal customer profile, built it just like this, targeted customers with all the factors that we wanted, tailored our marketing just to them, and got their attention and got the commercial cleaning contracts and turned them into clients that we still have today. If you want to grow your commercial cleaning company even faster, go to commercialcleaningsceo.com, grab the free tools that are there, learn more about how to build your cleaning business. I'm Matt. I built my commercial cleaning company to over 7 figures in less than 5 years on less than 10 hours a week, and I show you how I did it. So smash the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for more that's coming. And until next time, keep building.